Harper Audio presents The Dressmaker of Dachau by Mary Chamberlain, read by Julie Teal. Prologue. The April sun cast shafts of light onto the thick slubs of black silk, turning it into a sea of ebony and jet, silver and slate. Ada watched as Annie ran her hand along the fine, crisp edges of the jacket, tracing the rich, warm threads and fingering the corsage as if the petals were tender, living blooms. She was wearing it over a thick wool jumper and her cook's apron, so it pulled tight around the shoulders. "No," Ada wanted to say, "not like that. It won't fit." But she kept her mouth shut. She could see from Annie's face that the jacket was the most beautiful thing she had ever possessed. Annie was holding the key to Ada's room in one hand and a suitcase in the other. "Goodbye," she said, throwing the key on the floor and kicking it towards Ada. She walked away, leaving the door open. 1. London, January 1939. Ada peered into the broken mirror propped up on the kitchen dresser. Mouth open, tongue to attention, she plucked at her eyebrows with a pair of rusty tweezers, winced and ouched until only a thin arc was left. She dabbed on the witch hazel, hoped the stinging would fade, dunked her hair in clean, warm water in the old, cracked butler sink, patted it dry with a towel, and parted it along the left. 18 years old, more grown up this way. Middle finger, comb and straighten. Index finger, crimp. 3 waves down the left, 5 down the right. 5 each herringbone down the back. Pin curls, and a Kirby grip tight to her skull. Leave it to dry. Ada was taking her time. She opened her handbag and fished around until she found her powder, rouge and lipstick. Not too much, in case she looked common, but enough to make her fresh and wholesome, like those young girls from the Women's League of Health and Beauty. She'd seen them in Hyde Park in their black drawers and white blouses, and knew they'd practised on a Saturday afternoon in the playground of Henry Fawcett's. She might think about joining them. It was good to be supple and slender. She could make the uniform herself. After all, she was a dressmaker now, earned good money. She rubbed her lips together to spread her lipstick, checked that the waves were holding their grip as her hair dried, picked up the mirror, and carried it into the bedroom. The brown houndstooth skirt with the inverted pleats and the cream blouse with the enamel pin at the neck. That was smart. Good tweed, too. An offcut from Isadora, the tailor in Hanover Square. Just 15 she was when she started there. God, she was green, picking up pins from the floor and sweeping away fabric dustings, plimsolls grey from the chalk, and her hand-me-down jacket too long in the arm. Dad said it was a sweatshop, that the fat capitalist who ran it did nothing but exploit her, and she should stand up for her rights and organise. But Isadore had opened her eyes. He taught her how fabric lived and breathed, how it had personality and moods. Silk, he said, was stubborn, lawn sullen, worsted was tough, flannel lazy. He taught her how to cut the cloth so it didn't pucker and bruise, about biases and selvages. He showed her how to make patterns and where to chalk and tack. He taught her the sewing machine, about yarns and threads, how to fit a newfangled zipper so it lay hidden in the seam, and how to buttonhole and hem. Herringbone, Ada, herringbone. Women looking like mannequins. It was a world of enchantment. Beautiful hair and glistening gowns, tailored knickers even. Isadore had shown Ada that world, and she wanted it for herself. She wasn't there yet, what with Mum demanding a share for her keep, and the bus to work, and a tea cake in Lyons with the girls on payday. There wasn't much over at the end of the week. "And don't think you can come into this house and lord it around." Mum raised a stained finger at Ada, knuckles creased like an old worm. "Just because you pay your way." Still had to do her share of the dusting and sweeping, and now she was trained up, the family's dressmaking too. Ada knew this life of scrimping and knit combs and hand-me-downs was not what she was meant for.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?